No, we already read this. Fireplace. Hold on, hold on.
It's the same photograph we saw in the store.
Except this one's whole.
So the brother who owns the store
Frederick.
was angry with Johann before Ruth. Because
of the mine. It all comes back to the mine.
The mine must have been a big deal for Greywoke.
Grovik. An opportunity to do more than live hand to mouth.
What a blow it must have been to lose it all.
Johann and Frederick Fretland. Thick as thieves, before things took a turn.
Don't you always say that much of our pain is self-chosen?
I wonder about that. These headlines make more sense now. Johann sells his share, and the cave-in occurs shortly thereafter, killing 3 people.
Including the younger brother.
The investor pulls out, leaving Frederick with the bills.
Oh, I feel awful for everyone. Losing a brother, losing the business.
There were no happy endings here.
What are you doing?
Betty will want these back.
I don't think it's healthy.
Not now, please. I'm exhausted.
So, right now we have 2 pieces, a hat and a scarf. We are making real progress. And this is the couch where we should sleep.
Quite the day, huh?
I'm ready to pass out. Where will you sleep?
I'll be up for a while. My mind's simply racing.
Don't stay up late. Wake me if you hear the Fretlands arriving.
Of course. And I'll keep my eyes open for any ghosts that might want to haunt you in your sleep.
There are no.
Hush now.
This is not a horror game, this is just a story-driven game, exploring, and until now we had no horror elements. This was just a walking simulator, if you'd like, with beautiful landscapes. And yeah, we are already at day 3. I think we are like halfway through the game so far.
Alice?
Right up the stairs, Teddy.
Up the stairs.
Lissy!
Upstairs. Teddy? Is that you?
This is her room.
Hmm?
Are you paying attention? Ruth. Can you imagine? One moment you're living a perfectly happy life, and then nothing. Darkness. Forever and ever. Maybe there's something here that can tell us what happened to her.
This is a waste of my time.
We might be the only ones left to tell her story, Edward.
You're just being melodramatic. I'll help you look. Draugen.
Hey, the undead monster from those folk tales you read.
What an odd book for a child to have.
I don't know. Children love scary stories. This looks interesting. Read some of it to me, please.
In Norwegian folklore, the appearance of Draugen, the reanimated corpse of a drowned mariner, heralds death. Draugen haunts the Black Seas in a shattered boat. The beast has a man's body and wears a sou'wester, but instead of a head, there is tangled seaweed. and the revenant's chilling cry freezes mortal blood to ice. Draugen has the power to enter the dreams of the living. If you wake from such a dream, you have been spared, though someone close to you... That's enough of that. It's nonsense, of course. Not something a child should be reading.
Do you think Draugen took our boat? Maybe he's out there, on the fjord, waiting for nightfall so he can return to shore.
No.
And your soul lacks poetry, Edward Charles Harden. I pity you.
A bear. We have a bear holding a pig. Look at it. Unexpected. Very good.
Ruth was an artist.
This is very primitive.
Have you ever met a child, Edward? She wasn't Monet, she was 8. This must be the village church. That's Ruth and her family on one side of the aisle, Simon and his father on the other.
A community divided.
Alright, enough of that. We must see.
That must
Oh.
be Ruth and Simon's fathers.
Perhaps. They weren't on the best of terms.
They look like they want to kill each other.
To a child, maybe it looked worse than it was.
Children are more insightful than you give them credit for, Teddy Bear.
So someone is pushing him, as you can see. And the little girl is not very happy. Interesting.
Ruth never finished this. What does that spell? F-O-R-B.
For Banelson. The curse.
Who's that figure supposed to be? It's creepy. It looks a bit like the Draugen in her book.
A figment of her imagination. But the box she drew... It looks like this box under her desk.
Really? Let me see. Pull it out.
Whoa.
What is this?
I believe this might qualify as actual treasure.
Is that Norwegian money?
Sort of, but ancient. Viking coins.
Are they valuable?
Not in terms of monetary value, but historically. Well, they belong in a museum.
Looks like Ruth had her own private museum.
Why would a child have these artifacts?
She must have enjoyed collecting and playing with them.
These are much too precious to play with. She should have given these to an adult.
She was a child, Edward. To her, they were just shiny toys. Wait! The pin! On the doll!
This is where it came from, her collection.
But where did she find these treasures?
A dig, a grave site. Wherever she found them, she wanted to keep them hidden.
You think someone found out?
These items wouldn't necessarily be worth much, except to a historian or archaeologist.
What if this is how... I mean, if someone learned she'd been collecting treasures, they might be willing to do terrible things.
Well,
She made her bed that morning. Before she...
Or her parents did. It doesn't matter. It tells us nothing.
Why are you like this today? Betty's not the only person in the world that matters.
She matters the most to me.
Ain't that the truth? She found something.
Where's that supposed to be?
The cave. Or the...
Mine. It could be. But what did she find?
Her Viking treasure. Of course.
so she found this treasure in the
There's
mine.
a story here. The treasure box, the drawings.
The overactive mind of an imaginative child.
She didn't imagine the Viking artifacts. You shouldn't be so dismissive. The drawings could be her way of dealing with traumatic events.
This is what happens when I read you the principles of psychology. You get notions.
You say that like it's a bad thing. Ruth was troubled. The village was troubled, and... Is that a bell?
Whoa,
Church bell.
whoa.
Someone's here. Maybe Betty.
Why would Betty ring the church bell?
Perhaps she's in trouble. I need to get to the church right now.
Wait, isn't it more likely to be the person you saw the other night? We should be careful.
I told you, I'm not sure that was anything. Come on.
Go ahead. I'll catch up with you before you get there. I need a minute to think about all of this.
Alright, let's go to the church then. Let's rush to the church then. Because the bell is ringing. Come on. There is the church right there, on top of the hill. This is the full speed of Edward. Easy there, Edward. Catch your breath and let's try again. Yes.
All these fresh graves.
No one's touched these since yesterday. Regardless of how they got past the boards, there's someone in...
Who did this?
Someone who'd lost their faith.
Gone fishing?
God is not here.
Well, of course he isn't. You won't find God in a church. God is the wind in the trees, the grass between your toes, the brook that runs
That's
through.
nature, not God.
Can you peek through the boards? See anyone?
No,
Listen! The bell! They're still in there!
Hello? I heard the bell.
This is giving me
I'm
the
here to help.
heebie-jeebies.
These boards look flimsy enough to break.
Look at that. The Ethel becomes an Edward. I didn't think you had it in you, old fruit.
Be quiet. Betty? Are you here? Hello? This is Edward Harden. I'm looking for my sister,
Stop
Elizabeth.
shouting, Edward. We're alone. What's this rope for?
The bell.
This is the bell we heard ringing?
I don't see any other bells.
So you have to stand here and pull this rope to ring it.
Yes.
But there was no one here. You didn't see anyone, right?
No. Lissy. Look. Betty's gloves. They are definitely Betty's.
Oh, for
She got
Pete's
these
sake.
in Boston before she left for New York. She bought them at Woolworth. I remember the day she... She's here.
Where? And why would she leave her clothes lying around? It doesn't make
Breadcrumbs.
sense.
She's sending me a message. She knew I'd recognize her gloves. Her hat. She's left a trail for me to follow, like Ariadne's red thread.
We're not in a labyrinth.
Betty will have left more crumbs.
Betty, you're turning into such a pill. So what happened?
Interesting.
What happened here?
The sign on the door. God.
Isn't this a fire hazard?
They're not always lit. Each candle represents a single prayer.
That's a lot of prayers.
There were a lot of deaths. They considered this a sacred place. For them to destroy it. This was an act of desperation and anger.
Jesus looks sad.
What reason would Jesus have to be happy?
Don't be blasphemous.
Given that this is all fiction, blasphemy is a contradiction.
Heretic. I've never seen you read the Bible.
For he is our peace, who hath made both one, and hath broken down the middle wall of partition between us.
Did you just translate that into Olden English?
I happen to know the verse by heart.
You still manage to surprise me sometimes.
The church book, a record of births and deaths.
So we can find out what happened to the people in the village?
And, Elizabeth. I mean, if she was dead...
Her name would be in the book.
Vandals. Tore it to pieces.
I don't think the missing pages left the church. Look. The final dinner.
The Last Supper. Who taught you about the New Testament?
I pick up on things. Most folks aren't heathens, like you. What's that?
The last sermon that was held here.
What does it say?
The vicar's handwriting is hard to decipher, and the language. He talks about the village being divided for 20 years. This sermon was held on the anniversary of the accident, this past summer. He's asking the congregation to help heal old wounds, to forgive, and move on. Something to the effect of, you sit in separate aisles in God's house.
Like Ruth's drawing. I told you, she was perceptive.
Tilly Verandra.
Edward?
Forgive each other. It addresses Johann and Frederick directly. But I wonder if they were even here.
Remember the wedding picture? They were close friends once. How could they allow their grudge to escalate until...
You call each other traitors, but the only thing you've betrayed are the bonds that unite us. Here's something else. Many of you believe Grovik was cursed 20 years ago. God has not cursed you. This curse is of your own making.
Ruth's drawing mentioned a curse. What do you think that means?
It means they believed they were cursed, and that they needed something or someone to blame for their misfortune. It sounds like Grovik was split in two, between those who stood by Johann and those who supported Frederick.
Because of Ruth?
The sermon is from before that. No, this is all about the preceding 20 years of division and disagreements.
All right. I think Lizzie was right. These pages never left the church. Just that someone removed them and...
How many pages are missing?
I counted 4.
They're probably all still here. I know. Let's make it a competition. 1-0 to Team Me. I wanted you to find that one. I know what a rotten loser you are.
And let's look
Found
around
another
here.
one. You get it. It's right here.
What are you doing? We're in a church.
Thought you didn't believe in God.
I do believe in civility.
And I
Just
think we are
one more
missing...
page missing.
And I think it was on top on the balcony. Right next to the Bible. Let's go. Yes.
2 for 2. A tie. Good job, Teddy, old
Stop,
bean.
Lissy. This is not a game. Betty's out there.
Of horse feathers. Stop being so gosh darn tedious, Edward. Betty, Betty, Betty. Will you ever shut up about your precious Betty?
You are
Put
just
those pages
jealous.
back in the book, and I'll stop trying to cheer you up.
You are just jealous. This is all.
This book goes back years. It lists births and deaths. Here's the 3rd Fretland brother. The one who died in the cave-in. Someone added the word for Banelson, probably quite recently.
What does that mean again?
Curse. That word is all over this book. Not just the men who died in the mine, but other deaths in the last 20 years.
Ruth's drawing and the sermon both mentioned a curse. What do you think it means?
I don't know. There were surprisingly few births.
Perhaps they blame that on the curse as well.
Look here. Ruth Elsa Fretland. She was buried in the cemetery. And the next entry, Simon Fretland. Now this is interesting.
Simon is dead? Oh, that's dreadful.
He drowned the day after Ruth died. Probably no coincidence. See what's scribbled next to it?
Ward?
Murder.
Who killed him? Ruth's father? Or the mob that trashed the store?
It doesn't say. After the children, a half-dozen deaths in a single week.
The curse.
It's listed as the cause for every single death.
Maybe there really was a curse.
Primitive superstition. But something changed after Ruth and Simon. It might explain why there's no one around.
Edward, if it killed everyone, how's that not a curse? What does that word say? Next to those names at the bottom. For a
Traitor.
Edward? What's wrong?
The final entry. There's no name. Alice, what if...
Oh, Edward, no.
Betty,
It doesn't mean she's...
she's not dead. She can't be. I'd know. I'd know.
Teddy.
I need to see the grave for myself. It's not Betty. Betty's still alive.
Teddy? Where are you going? Don't leave me! Edward!
This one. It's unmarked.
What are you doing? Have you gone completely mad? Edward, stop it!
To be honest, I feel Edward's pain.
Thank God. It's not her. It's not Betty. It's not her.
Oh, Edward. What have you done?
It's not Elizabeth. I was so afraid.
You're a monster.
But I had to be sure. If Betty...
To hell with your Betty! When did she ever shed a tear for you?
Don't talk about my baby sister like
Or what? Or what, Edward? What will you do? Ignore us? Banish us? You've spent your entire life chasing. When are you going to do something useful with what's left of it?
Quiet! Just... leave me be!
Fine.
What?
See?
She was
Alice?
a ghost all
Come
along.
back! Don't leave me alone! Please! Come back! I need you.
All right, so
I was afraid you'd left me. Now listen to me. No!
Again, she disappeared.
Lissy. Hey. Lissy, please listen to me. I didn't mean what I said.
Of course you meant it. Everything's always about Betty. Betty, Betty.
I care about you both.
Until it really matters. Then it's obvious who matters more.
I thought she was dead.
I wish she was!
Don't.
You deserve to be alone.
I can't believe this. So Lizzie is a ghost, or in Edward's imagination. She seems so real.
Please, talk to me.
What's there to talk about?
You can't keep running away from me.
You think you own me? That you control me? That you get to decide how I feel and what I do every minute of every day? That I'm your puppet? Your little plaything? Well, fuck you, Edward Charles Harden! I never should have come here with you on this pointless chase!
Now, be reasonable.
So we have to follow her trace?
Lissy? Alice, what are you doing?
What I should have done years ago. Maybe now you'll learn to appreciate us.
Now listen to me. Please, listen. Hear me out. Don't do this. You can't do this to me. I need you. I'm not whole without you. I can't lose you. I can't live without you. Don't, please, don't, no. What? No!
Oh no.
Oh, Alice. What have you done? Please, be all right. Please, don't.
You make me sick, Edward. Your mother and father would be ashamed. Elizabeth would be ashamed. They did not think you deserved their love, so they abandoned you.
Don't.
Oh, my child. We are all that you have, and we love you. We are here. With us, you are never alone. Do not forget.
No, Never. I never forget. I am never alone.
Alright, day 4. So, interesting turn of events. We found out that Lizzie is a ghost, or Edward's imagination.
Wake up, Edward.
And now the entity picked us up. Let's see what this is.
Stop hiding. Where you go, we go, Edward. You cannot hide from us.
Where's Lissy?
Alice is not here.
Bring her back. Please. I need her.
Alice does not love Elizabeth like you do.
She loves me.
Not like I do, Edward.
I'm so tired. Please.
What do you want?
I think of you so often. You have no idea.
You just want me to forgive you so that we can keep looking for your precious, perfect Betty.
She needs us.
She never needed you, Teddy Bear. And she certainly doesn't need us.
I can't find her on my own.
Well, it's just too bad, my darling Edward. Because we're done playing second fiddle to little sis.
Wait, don't go. I'm talking to you, Lissy. Oh. Lissy? 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 Please. Listen, you can't keep vanishing on me.
Try me.
Why are you so angry?
You do not know anger, Edward.
Oh man.
Did you ever meet my father?
Alice does not want to speak with you.
Then what about you? Are you going to help me?
God helps those who help themselves.
I don't need God's help. I need Lissy.
Do you, though? Did you ever?
What? Of course,
What on earth?
Lissy, get back here.
Okay, so we should still remain inside because the game does not want us outside. Maybe we missed
Alice?
something here.
Please, don't vanish on me. Where did you go? Lissy? Lissy? Lissy, get back here. Alice, hear me out. Don't go. I depend on you both.
You can never depend on other people, Edward.
I'm not sure you count as other people.
Everyone leaves, one way or another.
You don't. You can't.
Is that a challenge?
Stop playing games.
Are you ordering me, teddy bear?
I'm asking you.
Didn't your father always tell you to stand up for yourself? To be a real man and not a sissy? Maybe that's why he put the gun to his head and pulled the trigger. Kaboom! He was so disappointed about what his only son had turned into.
You're a monster.
Takes one to know one. Old fruit.
All right.
Alice? Please. Don't vanish on me. Where did you go? Lissy? Lissy?
I think now we can go outside.
Lissy, get back here. Alice? Please.
Yeah, I think she's on the second floor.
Don't vanish on me. Where did you go? Lissy? I gave you this jacket. Betty, you were here.
What? He put a jacket on himself? Or come on.
I'm trying to talk to you. Lissy, I'm tired of chasing you. Alice, be reasonable. Lissy, look. Her jacket. I'm sure it wasn't here yesterday, which
Jesus
means
Christ,
Betty was
Teddy.
here. Perhaps when we were out yesterday.
Betty
She must
Bit.
have...
Betty, 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 Betty.
You love Betty more than you love us. But don't you see? What has Betty done that we haven't? What can she do that we cannot? We've always been there for you. Why do you keep looking for her?
She's real. You're not.
So?
What?
Oh.
You decide what is real. We are real to you.
We'll never be the same. Lissy, get back here.
She does not want you.
Who are you talking
Why
about?
do you think Betty left? She was sick and tired of us. She wanted to escape.
Like mother.
Drowning herself because she couldn't stand being around us.
Like father.
Bang! Right in the coconut.
Stop.
You drive them all away, Edward. All into death.
Not us. We're always here for you.
I beg you.
You are never alone.
Stop! Leave me alone, both of you!
You want to be alone?
You really want to be alone?
Fine. Be alone.
Good.
Okay.
Lissy. Come back. Please.
So
Don't
this
leave
door is
me.
still locked. Alright.
I lied. I don't want you to leave me alone. I don't want to be alone. Please. Lissy. I need you. I can't do this on my own.
Alright. So now we have 4 articles belonging to our sister Betty. And now something is happening. Quick transition, I guess. Day 5. Yeah, so I feel like we are getting close to the end of the game.
Betty? Elizabeth? Is that you? Are you upstairs? Betty, I'm coming. I knew you were here. Wait there. I'm on my way. They didn't believe me, but I knew you were still here. Betty? Betty! Are you in there? Open the door! I'm coming in! Stand away from the door!
It was just a bird. Oh.
Betty? No! No, 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 no! Oh. Oh, thank you. Thank you. I thought it was you, Betty. But who? Anna. It's from Johann, addressed to his wife. Did you notice the handwriting, Betty? He was clearly distraught. Knock ere knock. Enough is enough. After decades of strife, I pray that God will... Tilly, forgive me. I am tired of secrets. For 20 years I've kept my silence about our discovery, but my silence has only led to misfortune, and my cowardice has only led to death. I will make Frederick pay for what he has done to us, for what they have done to our Ruth. When it is over, I will let the ocean take me to you and Ruth. May God forgive me. Anna was already dead when he wrote this. He had no one else to confess to. What now, Betty? Johann went to confront his brother, probably at Frederick's farm. And then? You said this was a gift from another unlucky suitor. It was precious to you. You wouldn't have left it here unless... a signpost. A breadcrumb. You followed Johann to Frederick Fretland's farm, and then to the mine. You wouldn't let this go, Betty. You'd follow your story to the end. all the way to the end.
So this is why we will go also.
Where is Frederick's farm?
Oh man, interesting. Something similar happened in Far Cry New Dawn at the end of the game, where everything went black, you couldn't see 1 meter in front of you due to the fog, and things like that. This means we are close to the end of the game and I can barely see a thing. Okay. It's good that that little circle is there to guide us. So, this is the mine.
What led you to this place? All these fragments. You'd piece them together into a story, wouldn't you, Betty? So, what do we know? Johann and Frederick are partners, and on good terms. Something happens in the mine. Disagreements lead to a falling out. And at the end of it all, 20 years later, Johann walks this path to confront Frederick. Was this your doing, Johann? Did you burn your brother's farm to the ground? And where were you, Betty? Did you witness their fall? What do you reckon, Betty?
So we must find a combination for this safe. Just a second, it should be something around here. So this one didn't work.